For as long as we have existed, we have felt a connection with the ocean. For many people here in the Lowcountry, its salt is in our blood. The ebb and flow of the water call to us, and many of us answer that call.
Days like today, it's really easy to really feel that connection with the ocean. But it's also important to know that we not only share the waters with other surfers and other beachgoers, but we also share it with a very important animal, the Loggerhead sea turtle. Now, this isn't a sea turtle, but it's just as important. This is a nest of the loggerhead. Here we have a nest laid by an endangered species on the same beach that we go to surf or lay out in the sun. Now this nest has been marked off by volunteers here on Folly Beach. They're coordinated by the South Carolina Department of Natural Resources Marine Turtle Conservation Program. Now DNR coordinates over 1,000 volunteers through the entire coast of South Carolina. That means people from Hilton Head all the way to North Myrtle Beach are getting up very early in the morning to help out this amazing species. To learn more about how DNR is protecting these animals, we're going to have to go to Fort Johnson on James Island and speak with the people of DNR.
DNR is a state agency that manages the natural resources of South Carolina. While there, I'm going to meet with Charlotte Hope. She started working in sea turtle conservation when they became endangered due to our unsustainable fisheries right off the coast.
Found out the majority of our turtles back in the 80s were drowning. The commercial fishery nets, trawl nets. South Carolina is the first state that implemented TEDs, that made them mandatory in all shrimp trawl fisheries.
And so now, would you say that shrimping or fisheries interaction is still a huge conservation issue for turtles?
No, not now. Unfortunately, the shrimping industry is really taking a hit with all the foreign imported shrimp. The fleet is much smaller.
Okay.
We used to go out and count 400 boats in a day, and now it's more like 80.
We've come a long way from sea turtles drowning in shrimp nets, but there's still many challenges they'll face on their road to recovery. In order to help save them, we first have to understand their life history. For millions of years, sea turtles have relied on the dark silhouettes of coastlines to navigate to their nesting beaches. This is an adult female loggerhead. She has come to Edisto to lay her nest. These nesting females have entrusted our coast with safeguarding their species. For generations, they return to the same beaches to lay their nests. After carefully excavating an egg chamber, she begins to lay over 100 eggs. Once completed, she fills and packs the nest with sand. And after she is satisfied that her nest is safe from detection of predators, she makes her way back to the ocean. They lay, on average, 4 nests a season before returning to their feeding grounds. These reproductive adults are the few who have survived through the population decline of the 80s. The future of the loggerheads depend upon the success of these nests. Protecting them has become a personal responsibility to a small community of people here in the Lowcountry.
There's about 1,300 volunteers in the state that go out every morning at sunrise and walk to patrol their beach, and it's their job to protect that nest.
Loggerhead nests take about 60 days to hatch, and in that time, dedicated volunteers are needed to manage these nests. Now that could mean moving them to higher ground, protecting them from predators, or even collecting data on their hatching. Even with their help, there are still more challenges that the turtles face.
The big threat on the developed beaches, where most of the volunteers work, is lights. The hatchlings are very susceptible to these lights. Prior to electrifying the coast in the 60s, the brightest horizon was always the ocean, the moon and stars reflecting off the breaking waves. That is their cue to get to the water.
These disorienting lights may lead hatchlings away from water and into danger, where they may be run over by cars or even stranded inland. But there are some places still under the stars and on our coast that are home to one of life's most amazing events. Late in the summer, those nests that were protected have now hatched. Under the cover of darkness to avoid predators, the hatchlings gather at the top of the nest. And as if each of them know it's time to go, they erupt out of the nest in what we call a boil. Within moments of leaving the nest, these hatchlings are beginning the first leg of a migratory pattern that will take them across the ocean and over thousands of miles. For the lucky few that make it over the next few days, they'll eventually find safety in the floating beds of seaweed in the Sargassum Sea. Little is known about the next stage of their life, but we can hope that this next generation will find their way back to our waters.